Subscribe to the MTL World at Middle World 1 YouTube channel. Swallowed Star 2, Land of Origin. Volume 11, The Hunyuan Blade Dao. Chapter 408, How is this possible? 23rd of Volume 11. Translator, Shadow Knight AK. Edit, Shadow Knight AK. Luo Feng sat cross-legged, clad in black robes with a blood-colored cloak draped over his shoulders. But his aura was completely transformed. In the past, Luo Feng's aura had been immense and profound, heavier than an entire origin world. Even those Xuanhuan ancestors would have felt a headache at the sight, knowing that even dozens of Xuanhuan ancestors could barely scratch his body. His defensive capabilities ranked among the highest in the infinite Xuanhuan space. However, most Xuanhuan ancestors didn't fear such defenses. After all, there are 30 immortal beings. What is so impressive about mere defensive strength? What the Xuanhuan ancestors truly fears is overwhelming destructive power. Luo Feng's sole offensive technique, the Great Origin Destruction, relied entirely on his vast energy reserves to unleash a self-destruction that deterred his enemies. But the Xuanhuan ancestors are not fools. After having witnessed it once, they would naturally prepare countermeasures. My Xuanhuan life and death Dao is, after all, fundamentally rooted in life, Luo Feng thought. While it possesses some destructive capabilities, there remains an essential gap between it and true, highest-level power. The highest level of power represents a qualitative leap. Just like the blood power of the blood crane territory. Compared to Luo Feng's Xuanhuan life and death Dao, it is inferior in every aspect. But that is only in comparison to Luo Feng. However, compared to the vast majority of Xuanhuan ancestors, its energy reserves, vitality, and regenerative abilities are already terrifyingly formidable. This severing power, compared to the Xuanhuan blade Dao I pursue, undoubtedly has many shortcomings. But it remains the highest level of destructive power. It has fundamentally transformed my destructive capabilities. Luo Feng smiled. The severing power alone would naturally pale in comparison to Lord Jin, Lord Mingwang, and Lord Momen. But when combined with the Xuanhuan life and death Dao, the result would be entirely different. My life form is nearly 100 times stronger than Jin's, Momen's, and the others. A casual strike from me now unleashes energy comparable to their main battle clones burning at full power. With such terrifying energy driving the severing power, what level of destructive force can it achieve? Luo Feng couldn't be certain of his current strength. A Xuanhuan ancestor who masters two highest level powers can typically rival a lord. If the combination is perfect enough, with the blessings of the mysterious land and special opportunities, some can even surpass a lord. For example, the Bingfeng Xuanhuan ancestor, Infinite Serpent Xuanhuan ancestor, Kafusho, Moxu and so on are all of this type. The Infinite Serpent Xuanhuan ancestor and others have combined two different types of highest level powers. But I possess a Xuanhuan level Dao and a highest level power. I should be even stronger than them. Luo Feng felt a vague certainty that he could surpass any other opponent. But only two remaining. Lord Xingmeng and Shazhou. Luo Feng was not entirely confident, but there is no doubt that a highest level of destructive power, perfected and combined with the life-affirming principles, would undergo a qualitative transformation. Luo Feng's techniques are no longer just about quantity. Instead, on the basis of quantity, each strike now contains profound mysteries and the highest level of destructive mysteries. Chi chi chi, sizzling sounds emanated from Luo Feng's aura, now infused with the intent of destruction. This is not even my peak state, Luo Feng thought. If I comprehend the Xuanhuan blade Dao, I'll become even stronger. After having grasped the severing power, he now understood the true bottleneck hindering his comprehension of the complete Xuanhuan blade Dao. To comprehend the Xuanhuan blade Dao, my greatest obstacle lies within my own heart, Luo Feng realized. For any lord, their most proficient path is always the one that resonates most deeply with their true nature. The second path, however, aligns far less with their inner self. Luo Feng had witnessed Lord Jin's legacy and felt a profound aversion to the spiritual power it contained. Destroying heaven and earth, annihilating everything for personal power. Luo Feng could never accept it. My heart must align sufficiently with the path of destruction to create a Xuanhuan blade Dao centered on destruction, he concluded. Luo Feng's heart is like a blade, capable of severing any obstacle. Honed through endless years, his severing heart blade had now grown ever sharper. Yet even this severing heart blade could only barely grasp the highest level of severing power, but it is far from comprehending the complete Xuanhuan blade Dao. My accumulation has gradually reached a sufficient level, but I've realized my greatest flaw lies within my heart, Luo Feng thought. Only when my heart and the Dao are in perfect harmony can I truly create a Dao. First, I must accumulate more. The more I accumulate, the better. This had always been Luo Feng's approach to cultivation, preparing thoroughly in every aspect to pave a smoother path forward. Whoosh. With a thought, the cultivation cave dissolved, its energy returning to the chaos destruction realm. Brother Wu Lan, I'll continue exploring the next level, Luo Feng called out. Congratulations, Brother Luo Feng. The invisible ripples from Luo Feng's breakthrough had already alerted Wu Lan, the master of this chaos destruction realm. However, Lord Wu Lan assumed Luo Feng had merely made progress in his cultivation, unaware that he had created a second Dao. Creating a second Xuanhuan level Dao is not a small matter, it is a momentous event not only for Luo Feng but for the entire practitioner faction. Such news would undoubtedly be shared with the other lords. The Abyss of Destruction, a mysterious land, named for its destructive nature, and it can be revered as a holy land by the Xuanhuan ancestors of the infinite Xuanhuan space. Having a seat in the eternal land signifies immortality. Being able to occupy a level in the Abyss of Destruction meant ranking among the top 30 in strength. Even renowned figures like the Lotus Prison Mountain Lord and the Xuanhuan Beast Ancestor only occupied the top 5 levels. These two holy lands represent survival and combat prowess, respectively. The 8th level. Luo Feng pierced through the time and space barriers and entered the 8th level of the Abyss of Destruction. The 8th level was shrouded in mist. A colossal black figure rose from the depths, its body covered in black scales and a single blood-red eye blazing with bloody flames. It glared coldly at Luo Feng. Lord Luo Feng, have you come to seize this chaos destruction realm? Wugu Xuanhuan Ancestor, Luo Feng acknowledged, meeting the figure's gaze. This towering black entity was none other than Wugu Xuanhuan Ancestor, one of the top 5 immortal beings in the Ice Peak faction. I believe you must have sensed, I've been descending through the first level chaos destruction realm, spending considerable time in each level, Luo Feng said, my journey through the Abyss of Destruction is to temper my cultivation. I have no intention of seizing your chaos destruction realm. Do you think I'd believe that? Wugu Xuanhuan Ancestor retorted angrily. You practitioner lords have already plundered my territories countless times. This is the 8th level. Lord Negu resides on the 9th level, while Lord Mingwang, Lord Jin, and Lord Momen occupies the 11th through 13th levels respectively. Wugu Xuanhuan Ancestor had been a contemporary of Yuan. Yet, one by one, the practitioner lords surpassed him. Each practitioner lord's methods left Wugu Xuanhuan Ancestor utterly baffled, making him feel foolish and inept. I can promise not to seize your chaos destruction realm, Luo Feng said, I have only one request, arrange all your realm envoys to besiege me for 1 or 2 epochs. Assist in your cultivation. Wugu Xuanhuan Ancestor shook his head slightly, you dream too big. Even without the threat of this level chaos destruction realm being seized, Wugu Xuanhuan Ancestor refused to cooperate. During the Ice Peak faction's invasion of the practitioners' territory, Wugu Xuanhuan Ancestor had been the most aggressive plunderer. He personally took charge of the occupation of those territories with his true form. Yet, in the end, all his hard-earned gains were forcibly returned. You have to return the things you plundered. Wugu Xuanhuan Ancestor was very unhappy. After having achieved immortality, he had never suffered such humiliation. But the Ice Peak faction's collective decision left him with no choice. Yet at this moment, I won't cooperate with you. Get lost and move on to the next level, Wugu Xuanhuan Ancestor sneered. Refuse to cooperate. Luo Feng's expression turned cold, then I'll have to force you to. Force me. Ha 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 ha. If I refuse, you won't even touch a single realm envoy. Wugu Xuanhuan Ancestor laughed mockingly, now get out of my chaos destruction realm. At his command, dark clouds surged forth, vast and overwhelming. The endless storm instantly engulfed Luo Feng, amplified by the realm's power of this chaos destruction realm. This power could manifest hundreds of realm envoys or enhance Wugu Xuanhuan Ancestor's own strength. However, summoning the realm envoys was the most effective combat strategy. After all, Wugu Xuanhuan Ancestor wasn't particularly skilled in harnessing the destructive power inherent in this chaos destruction realm. Get out. Wugu Xuanhuan Ancestor possesses combat prowess comparable to an average lord, though his direct combat skills are slightly weaker. His domain, however, is exceptionally formidable. His life core could merge with his own power and manifest within any of his clones, which is why he dared to personally oversee the invasion of the practitioners' territory in his true form. Now, with a mere thought, the life core materialized from the endless distance and fused with this clone, instantly transforming him into his true form. Fueled by an inexhaustible supply of Chaos Destruction Realm's power, the clone rapidly ascended to its peak state. Further enhanced by this Chaos Destruction Realm's power, he now possessed 30% greater strength than his true form in his normal state. Boom. Endless dark clouds pressed down on Luo Feng, attempting to force him out. These clouds were impossibly dense, radiating a terrifying sense of oppression. Get lost. Wugu Xuanhuan Ancestor sneered, dismissing the practitioner lord's audacity. Cooperate in cultivation. This practitioner lord is dreaming. Suddenly, a frigid blade light flashed. The blade light pierced through the levels of dark clouds in an instant, even grazing Wugu Xuanhuan Ancestor's body. The Wugu Xuanhuan Ancestor felt a terrifying force slice through him, and his body seemed to cooperate, actively splitting open. It's splitting. Wugu Xuanhuan Ancestor exclaimed in shock and fury, turning to see the blade light, carrying a figure, plunge deep into the earth of the first-level Chaos Destruction Realm, heading straight for the Phantom Origin Core. Not good. Wugu Xuanhuan Ancestor was shocked and furious. His speed was far inferior to Luo Feng's current speed at this moment. The power of this Chaos Destruction Realm that had been reinforcing his body immediately dispersed, rapidly forming 550 realm envoys. Stop him. Wugu Xuanhuan Ancestor commanded urgently, his thoughts racing. This group of realm envoys, when united, was only slightly weaker than himself. If they could delay Luo Feng even briefly, Wugu Xuanhuan Ancestor could join forces with them. The 550 realm envoys obeyed instantly, throwing themselves into the task of blocking Luo Feng with all their strength. Swish. The condensed blade light flashed past in an instant, slicing through over 300 realm envoys in a single strike. The blade light reached the Phantom Origin, without almost any hindrance. Before Wugu Xuanhuan Ancestor could arrive, he felt that he has lost control over this level of the Chaos Destruction Realm. Wugu, your cooperation is no longer needed here. Get lost, Luo Feng said coldly, appearing on the surface, his blood-colored robes billowing in the wind. How is this possible? This can't be happening. Wugu Xuanhuan Ancestor couldn't understand it. How could he, empowered by realm's power, fail to delay Luo Feng even for a moment? Luo Feng had never displayed such terrifying strength during the war between the two factions. Blank. End of chapter. Subscribe to MTL World at Mittelworld 1 YouTube channel.